Welcome to the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, the show that puts the spotlight on the incredible women who fuel the world of motorsports. From drivers to crew members, engineers to fans, and everyone in between, we're here to celebrate the trailblazers, dreamers, and doers shaping the sport we love. Each episode, we share inspiring stories of females of all ages from every corner of the motorsports universe, past, present, and future. It's a journey through the seasons of life filled with heartfelt moments, laughter, and a whole lot of horsepower. So, whether you're a lifelong fan, a racer yourself, or simply curious about the extraordinary women behind the wheel, settle in, relax, and enjoy a fun and uplifting ride with us. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, connecting and celebrating women in motorsports, one story at a time. Let's hit the track. Hello, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And Kelly is my guest today. And Kelly is going to share a little bit with us about herself and how to pronounce your last name. I don't want to mess it up. And so, Kelly, welcome to the show. And would you please just share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Kelly Goldthread, and I am the president of the Women's Dirt Bike Racing Association. I kind of do wear a lot of hats right now. I'm also a commissioner for the American Motorcyclist Association and the GP steward for the District 36 Motorcyclist Sports Committee. And then during the day, I'm also a teacher for students with severe orthopedic needs as well.
Okay. So do you teach in a public school?
I do, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That has to be rewarding and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, I love it. Most of my students have cerebral palsy, and
Oh,
they're just really fun to work with.
okay. And how long have you done that?
15 years.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. My daughter, one of my daughters, I have three daughters. One of my daughters always wanted to be a teacher from the time she was little. And so she went to college and she got married, had kids, went to college all at the same time, worked, and became a teacher. And by the time she became a teacher, which would have been about, I want to say 7 years ago, maybe longer than that, she was a little bit disillusioned with how the education system had changed since she had been a student.
Yeah.
And she taught at a private school and it was all about the testing and the scoring. And so her other love is Disney.
Yeah.
And travel. And so she quit teaching and she became a travel agent and she found her passion.
Oh, that'd be fun too. Yeah.
And so she loved the kids and teaching. It was just some of the politics.
Yeah, I
So,
can see that with the testing. I started out in gen ed and got burned out with the testing. I did
yeah,
that for 4 years and then switched to special ed because
yeah,
of that.
right. So, it's different, but I admire anybody that's a teacher because it's not an easy job. I don't care who you're teaching. So good for you. I'm happy to hear that we have good people like you in the school systems for sure.
Yeah, dirt bikes helps because I can get my stress out.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, how did you get started in all this? That's a lot of things that you're doing. Did you ever race? How did you get started in liking motorsports?
Yeah, I literally grew up at the motorcycle track. So my dad has been racing since the 70s. He had been racing for 10 years. By the time I was born, I was at my first race at 3 weeks old in a baby carrier. So my dad worked with Dave Coombs Sr. and helped with the NPG back when the Nationals were being formed. So just growing up, watching him working heavily with forming the Hangtown National, and I helped him in a big way, just with lots of facets with that. Growing up, helping with press and media credentials, and helping with hospitality, and just lots of different things with that, and helping with hair scrambles, and just kind of, I rode a lot with my dad growing up. I didn't race until I met my husband later in life. So I was actually 32 when I did my first race. But just always grew up with dirt bikes. Always really been into lots of different extreme sports, surfing, wakeboarding, skateboarding, just kind of like anything I could get an adrenaline rush from,
Uh-huh.
basically.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So your dad kind of showed you the way by what he was doing, and you saw how much he probably loved it. And
Yeah.
so you thought, okay, I want to see what this is all about, and then it ended up to where you are. So why don't you share a little bit? You're involved in AMA, the Dirt Bike Association, and what was the other thing?
Yeah. So 3 years ago, basically, when I started racing, I really saw a need to start the Women's Dirt Bike Racing Association, because when I started racing, you're on the line with all these other ladies. You take off and you do your race, and then you go back to your truck and you never talk to anybody again. And I just thought, well, wait a second, like, we're all so disconnected. And also, I saw the need because there really wasn't a formal set of rules for the women's racing. We just didn't have a lot of say within our association. We really needed a voice. I saw a lot of need for ladies to really, I wanted ladies to feel comfortable having a voice within our association. And we did have some ladies in leadership positions in District 36, but um, really, well, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but since we started our association, that's grown. So we basically I wanted to start this club. So,
Yeah.
that was kind of the drive. So I started the Women's Dirt Bike Racing Association within District 36. So we got sanctioned with District 36 first. And then we became sanctioned with the American Motorcyclist Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how that all fit together, but now I'm getting it. Okay.
Yeah. So we were the first all women's competition club to be sanctioned with the AMA in the United States.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So it was pretty exciting. There's other women's clubs, but we're the first competition club.
Okay.
Hmm.
And about how many members do you have? Is it
So
all over the country?
no, we're just based out of Northern California.
Okay. All
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah.
That, that's pretty cool. Do
Yeah.
you do you do you ever hear from women in other parts of the country that want to know like what you did and how you got started because
You
they
know,
want to do that or
I haven't yet, but I'd highly encourage women, if they're listening to this podcast and they want to contact us, to start a club in their local district, because we have had so much growth within our local district, and we've been able to change rules. Um, I mean, within our district, we have commissioners, we have a women's steward. I've become the GP steward. We have um, gosh, I mean, let's see. We have committeemen, we have sweepers, we have chairpersons, we have referees, we have board members,
wow.
contingency directors, chairpersons, um,
In every aspect.
every aspect of District 36. We have women now that have joined from our association. And I think that they've just felt comfortable because, of our association. And
Mhm.
so I would highly recommend, if they want to contact us and just see how we got started, I'd be
You'd be
very
happy to help them because it's all
absolutely,
about, growing the sport for sure.
absolutely, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, when you so tell me how that works. So, when you go to a competition, is it a competition that has races for all kinds of different sizes and kinds of bikes, etc., and then your women's part is part of that? Is that how
Yeah,
that works? Okay, why
yeah,
don't you tell me about that?
yeah. So we have classes for girls. There's different age groups, and then we have A, B, and C levels for girls, and then for women there's A, B, and C, and then it's also broken up by age. Um,
Okay.
so there's 12, and then if you're under 30, and then 40 and above. So
Okay.
it breaks down by ability and then also age.
So that has to make the women feel way more comfortable.
Yeah, we even have a class that's for if you've never raced before. So
Novice or
yeah,
rookie or
yeah, and then we have one for if you've done like a handful of races, and then we have one for like even for ladies that are coming back from racing after multiple years, but used to be like A riders. We have a race for that too.
okay.
So we have like, and it's gone from, since we've added multiple classes, we've gone from having just a handful of ladies to having full lines. So I think
Really?
we needed to have an avenue for people to feel comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I I did an interview with a lady that races cars, and she, you kind of get backlash sometimes. There's two theories of, well, the women want to be treated just like the men, so they should race with the men. And the other side of it is women, especially if they've not done it, are not going to start racing against a bunch of men that have been doing it before because they are more aggressive or can be, or, we're not lumping them all into a bucket, but you know what I'm saying? So she did the same thing. She formed the Ladies Acceleration Tour, which is cars,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just women. And
Mm-hmm.
once they get comfortable, then they might go on and race just against the men or in
Yeah.
general. But to get some women to get started need to feel that comfort factor
Yeah.
of people that look and act like them.
Yeah, exactly. And we help them through the whole process of, if they want to start racing, where do you put your transponder on? How do you get your number plates? What color do your number plates need to be? How do you go through tech? Where do you line up? Like, what time is your race? And how do you go through signups? And just all the little nuts and bolts, so that when they get to their race day, we have a checkoff list of everything that we send to them, so they feel completely comfortable to go from A to Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And I am surprised that there aren't more clubs like this across the country. So when you say District 36, what area does that encompass?
So District 36 is the sanctioning body that covers all of Northern California.
Okay, so how far south do you go?
So it pretty much goes down to like Modesto area, pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so pretty big area.
Yeah, it's a pretty big area. And then District 37 is like Southern California.
And they don't have a group.
Yeah, there is well, they
Okay,
don't have I don't think they have a Southern California women's group yet. Yeah, that I know
okay, okay.
of.
Huh, that's interesting. So tell me, like when you first thought about this is what I want to do, I want to form a group of ladies. What did it take for you to get it started, get it going, and then to be sanctioned by the AMA? That seems to be, to me, that sounds like a lot of work and a lot of paperwork and time.
Yeah, we had to get together and we had to write a constitution and bylaws, and to form our charter and everything together as a group. So
Okay. And
it,
about how long did it take for all that to happen?
I mean, for all of us, it took about a month.
Okay.
I have about 5 teachers in my group, so we're all pretty organized with the
Okay.
paperwork.
That helps. That helps for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty funny actually that we
It
have so
is
many
funny
teachers.
because, but it goes back to, oh, Kelly does it, so I want to try it. That's
Yeah,
the thing. They see somebody do it that they know, and then they want to try it for sure.
yeah,
So, what kind of dirt bikes? Tell me, like, you're still racing, I take it.
yeah.
Okay, tell me about your bike.
Oh yeah, I have a Beta 300X trainer that I race right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
and is that I would assume be in the experience, the A group.
No, I'm not actually. I ride the C-Vet women.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So about how many women would you say are in each group? Like when you say the front row, I know they all take off kind of at the same time. How many are in the front row?
It depends on the race. Usually, I mean, you could have like 20 or 30 depending on the
How
class.
wide it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have different series like District 36, a lot of so even in my within my club, some of my ladies, I have like ladies that do race the A class in our club.
Okay.
And we have some younger riders too. We have racers that are, in our club that are 12, 17, all the way up to like, even we have some ladies that are in their 60s that are racing too. So we have all different ages in our club. But I have like one of our gals is 17. That's an A rider. And she rides 3 different series. She rides the Big Six series. She rides the Western Hare Scramble series in California, and she rides District 36. So
Okay.
we have
All
some
right.
ladies that are doing 3 different racing series. They're pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we try to support them, with all of that coming up through their careers.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of racing, and they all probably have jobs and families and all that. So it takes a lot of organization for sure
Yeah,
to do all
and
that.
exactly. And I would like to see in the industry, a lot more pathways for these ladies that do want to become professionals, because it just seems like, even if you look in the magazines, like I was just looking in Dirt Rider, um, just
There's
the
not
other,
there's almost never any women.
yeah. I mean, even I was looking in Dirt Bike magazine the other day, and there's Pro Circuit had an ad with Michaela Nielsen, but really, like, I'm looking through the entire magazine, and you wouldn't think that women ride dirt bikes at all.
Right.
You're looking through there.
And
Amy,
there's actually a lot that really do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's interesting. I when I talked to a lady earlier today, we were discussing the same thing, that when you pick up any kind of a racing magazine, unless it's NHRA, they do a pretty good job, but they have a lot of top racers in NHRA. But other than that, I think there's rarely a story about a woman in any of the racing magazines.
yeah. It's kind of too bad. I mean, there are pathways like for women, pro women, to go to like GNCC, and then they
Yeah.
can do the ISD, and now SMX are going to have some exhibition races at the nationals, and SMX for women, but there's just not a lot for them when for them to become professionals after once they get to a certain point.
Right. And I think, it gets there because at the lower levels, you start making some noise, if
Hmm.
you will. It's like, oh, we have this group. We have women who want to go on and race professionally, and especially girls, um, younger girls. Do you know who Kayla Yakov is? I don't know how she pronounces her last name. She doesn't do dirt bikes, but she races motorcycles at a professional level.
Hmm.
And she was like the only girl forever, or maybe there was one other.
Yeah,
And so, there's more and more after she got going, and she was young. I interviewed her probably at least 6, 7 years ago
yeah,
when I first started, and she was like 10 or something. It was, crazy young. But she had a dad who could help her get going. And so these women, if they don't have somebody that can show them the way or help them, then they just kind of stay where they are. But wouldn't it be great to see 10 or more women racing dirt bikes
yeah,
professionally? You
exactly.
know, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, I'd love to see more women doing that. It's kind of like the sprint car series. There's a lot of them that are young in sprint cars, but they get to a certain level and it seems like they die out. They don't get to the next level. Yeah, for sure. So
yeah.
what do you love most about this whole racing, working with women? What's your favorite thing about it?
Um, Gosh, I mean, I being the steward, I just love seeing them like that make accomplishments, and just get, being seeing these ladies get to the finish line, and I don't know, just seeing them reach their goals. It's really awesome supporting all of these, especially the young girls. Like, it's really neat. You can just see their enthusiasm and seeing them improve like race after race from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. It's really been a joy. So, and just getting to meet the families and build a relationship with them, I've really enjoyed that.
Well, and as a teacher, that's kind of your mindset or your lifestyle to see kids grow and get better at what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so, racing is no different than watching them learn how to read or do math, because you want them to just keep improving and excel and move on. And so you're the perfect person to be there encouraging them.
Yeah. Oh, I've worked in education for so many years, and there is nothing like racing kids. They are so respectful. I mean, I could give you an example. I was a windy day, and I was looked up on the hill, and my easy up was starting to blow away. And I see these kids just go, nobody asked them, grab rocks and put rocks on the edge of my easy up and fix it so it wouldn't blow away on their own. I mean, just one of a kind, respectful kids. Because
and I don't interview boys really unless it's a brother or something. I stick with women, but I noticed that girls in motorsports are more mature. And just because of, I always say it's because of the challenges they've had to go through. It's because of all the things, and they learn to be more respectful, and they're around a lot of adults, and it makes such a huge difference for sure.
Yeah, you just have a grit about them that's really inspiring.
It is inspiring. So is this something, Kelly, I don't know how old you are, but is this something that you want to do for a long time yet? This is something you absolutely love.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm 44. I do love teaching, but I don't see myself doing it forever just because of the physical aspect of, working with kids in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So when I do retire at 55, my husband works for the AMA right now, part-time, and has another job. But when I do retire, it's kind of our bucket list that we'd like to both work for the AMA and travel and do that. Yeah.
Well, and that's a good thing, because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't, and then 55 is still a young age if
you
retire.
That's true.
And so you're still able to do a lot of things and travel and enjoy. And that sounds like an amazing job to me. That just sounds like, I mean, I love to travel and I love racing. And if I could combine the two more than what I'm doing, I would, because it's just the best. And the people you meet too are just the best.
Yeah. That's like my wish list. I guess I got to talk to Carrie about that. Carrie Coombs, and see if she'll let me take her up on that. But that's what I would love to do.
Put the bug in her ear now, so that when the time comes, it's not a surprise. 10 years. Yeah. Well, she'll probably listen to this, and so then she'll know.
That's funny, right? Yeah, I'll tell her. That's my bucket list.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, if I could do anything, that's what I'd love to do.
Yeah. So when you first started riding, what was your biggest challenge?
Gosh, I was 3 when I first started riding.
Oh gosh, so you probably don't remember.
So I remember my dad chasing me around the front yard.
Well, let's say maybe,
But now as an adult, it is challenging. I mean, I have to go to work on Monday. So sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, like, do I want to push myself? Should I go down this? And how far do I push myself? Because I don't want to get hurt so much that I can't go to work the next day, being an adult. And so you're always thinking about that. Like, when I was a teenager, you didn't have that mindset when you're racing so much. And I know our younger girls, they don't have that mindset when they're racing that I do anymore. So
well, and as we get a little older, we're a little more careful.
I've had some of them say you turn your brain off, but I can't do that anymore.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that either. But I can see how, kids don't think anything's ever going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So and as adults, we know that, yes, it does. So
I just ride for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when when you kind of first started with the women, and there weren't as many then, did you ever feel like you didn't fit in, or did you, is that kind of what made you want the women to feel welcome?
Yeah, I've had so many people say that since we've added these extra classes, since we put in the rules, since we've added this association, and have become such a big part of District 36 that they do feel more accepted, that they do feel
Mm-hmm.
that they do feel that they do fit in and they have a place in District 36. So, and I do feel that the women do feel more comfortable taking on leadership roles now. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
has
I would
a
think
huge
so.
impact. Yeah.
So do you work on your bike? Does your husband do it? How does that, because I know there's maintenance and there's always things you need to do. Who does that?
I'd love to say that I work on my bike, but my dad was a mechanic and
Okay.
my husband's a mechanic. So
Well, hey, everybody has a role and everybody
yeah,
does what they do best. And so that's
yeah.
okay.
We'll
That's
say I'm not really gifted in that area. I'm a really good cook though, so
Yeah,
it's a
there you
good
go.
trade.
Well, and I'm sure they like to eat, so that's your role, Kelly, for
Yeah,
sure.
I can, I'll wash my bike. I can do the basic stuff, but
Yeah,
not anything too technical.
right. So when does do you guys race all year round because being in California, or do you have like a race season?
We can. It does get extremely hot here in the summertime, like in the
Yeah,
hundreds. So in the summertime, people do race. It's not my favorite. I like to do the water sports type stuff.
yeah,
I'd rather be behind a boat in the middle of summer, but
yeah,
myself. But or we can go up to like Tahoe and ride in the summertime, like in
yeah.
the mountains.
Okay.
But we can. Wintertime is like the nice. This like right now is the nice time. And I actually just got back from, we went down to the Mojave Desert just yesterday. We got back and it was like 69 degrees down there.
Oh
So
gosh.
really
So
nice. Yeah.
yeah, it's 8 degrees here today.
Oh, wow.
I'm in Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Even when we start racing, like end of April, really, the weather's not all that good usually.
Wait,
It's
did you,
chilly and
did you say 8 degrees?
like
You said,
single digit.
oh, that's not nice. That's cold.
Yeah. No, it's not. But we did have sun today. We haven't had sun for several days. We've had snow almost every day, but just like an inch or two and then an inch or two, just kind of hangs around. But we actually had I'm looking out my window, I actually had some sun today, which is really nice. And it is going to warm up. We're starting to go up to like maybe 30 in the 30s and that. So for next week, I'm going to be on a cruise next week with my daughter, and then of course it'll warm up while I'm gone. So that's how it always goes, for sure. So, what do you feel like? And I ask a lot of people this question, and I get a lot of different answers. Success does not mean winning a race. It can, but
Yeah.
it doesn't always.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that when you do something, you'll be like, you feel like you were really successful at it. What does that look like to you? What does success look like to you? Either with your women's group, your racing, any of that.
Yeah. No, that's so true because, you know, I've had a lot of goals in my life and it's not necessarily about trophies, but a lot of it is about supporting other people and helping people accomplish their goals and and
Mm-hmm.
just we I mean even with our club like we promoted the first we promoted the Trailblazer GP and which for 3 years in a row. And to me, that's like successful because we've been the first all women's competition club in the United States to do that.
Yeah.
And so success to me is seeing ladies designing their own course, seeing them pound stakes
Yeah.
on their own, getting drills out and tools and figuring out like, well, where do we put the arrows? I don't know. Where would you put the arrows? And
Uh-huh.
seeing them think through a race course and then seeing the race go as a success at the end of the day and the look on everybody's faces, like
Uh-huh.
knowing that they accomplished that,
Right. From
together.
scratch. They started at zero
They
and
started at zero, they
uh-huh.
planned an event, and together as a team, like, they accomplished that, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I know myself that we did that together, like, that's success to me, like,
Oh yeah.
it's not really about a trophy, like,
No.
we're giving out the trophies, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like we had a success.
And that's hard work. It's teamwork. It's learning new things. picking up a tool that maybe you've never done before to pound a
Yeah.
stake in the ground, and all those things are just so beneficial to not only just that race event, but gives those women confidence in a lot of other areas that they
Yeah.
might not have had it. And, you know, I like to ask the question, how has motorsports changed you? And so that probably leads up right now to that. You know, had you not been involved in motorsports, how would you be different than you are now? Or what have you learned through
Yeah.
being involved?
I feel like I'm just so much more confident of an individual, like just my leadership skills, being able to like, I just wouldn't ever picture myself. Like at first I was really nervous when I got elected to be the steward of this series, you know,
Yeah.
and now I'm able to like run an event, you know, and I never pictured myself doing that.
Hmm.
And I just did it, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so I don't know, sometimes you don't think you can do something and then you just kind of do it and you just rise to the occasion. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's built a lot of confidence in myself and my abilities. And hopefully I feel like through this organization, my hope is like, I feel like we've worked together as a team in my club, and I'm super proud of the other people in my club. I'm really, really proud of them. I couldn't have done all the things that I have accomplished without them. Like they're just an amazing group of women. So, I mean, I'm on here, but I wish you could meet all of them because they're just such.
Well, and you know, we need to interview some of those women. I
Yeah.
mean, all you've got to do is share their names, and if
Okay,
they'd
I
be
will. Yeah.
willing,
They're
and you know, you tell them it's real easy. It's just a conversation, because
yeah.
people get nervous about it, but it's actually it's super simple for sure.
Oh yeah, they're just an incredible. We have such an incredible group of ladies.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fun. And you know what? It'd also be fun, Kelly. I should think about this as we could do a something live when you're at a race sometime.
Oh yeah, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun to do. So I like to ask women that work and, you know, have to buy groceries and do laundry and do all those things and still involved in racing. How do you find balance? What do you do to take care of Kelly?
Yeah, that's true. It's hard when you're trying to pack the trailer and do the
Hmm.
grocery shopping and
Hmm.
all the things. I mean, my husband is amazing, and he's been a huge support. So I definitely couldn't do it without him and my kids, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
So 13 and 17, my
Okay.
two girls, and they both ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they do. They don't race, which is okay. They haven't really been interested in that yet, but
Yeah.
and my husband races too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they like going on the weekends.
Yeah, they love going on the weekends. My older daughter is a committeeman, so and she likes
Okay.
to help work tech too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they've probably made friends with other kids that are there. And so that's like meeting your second family when you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. They've both grown up at the races, so
Yeah. That's fun.
yeah.
So what does race weekend look like? Um, you know, I find a lot of superstition in racing. So when you
Yeah.
go to the track, do you wear the same shirt or the same socks or you know, I heard you say you race for fun. So maybe it's more fun for you than it is trying to get to the top level of dirt bike racing.
Yeah, I started racing later in life, so I can't say I've ever been, like, crazy
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah.
Like, my husband used to be, like, a three-time district champ and was, like, really into it,
Okay.
and I wasn't that way. I've always started, like, later, so I've
Yeah.
always been kinda more for fun. But I still do get nerves and everything, even going every time you race, you still get nervous,
Oh yeah.
no matter what, so
Well, and if you weren't nervous, that's when something bad can happen.
yeah, exactly,
I think
yeah.
you have to be on your toes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still like, I would say like since COVID, like this like online grocery delivery is probably like the best thing in the entire world. Because I could
Yeah.
be at work and I just like do the online grocery delivery. I'm such a mom for saying this, but I like come home and I can just like throw it
No,
up in my trailer and
I'm telling you what. So I have I have 3 daughters. One lives here in Kalamazoo. She's my oldest. She's over 40 is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And then my youngest 2 live in the Phoenix area, 39 and almost 37.
Yeah.
And I don't know the last time that they've probably been in a grocery store.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
all
mean,
about the online, they bring it to the door and leave
yep.
it, or you pull up at Walmart and they load it in your car, whatever it might be. And I live in the country, but I don't live far from town. I mean, they probably would deliver here. I'm
Yeah.
not more than 5 miles from a grocery store, but
Yeah.
how do you know what's new at the grocery store? I have to go to the store and
Yeah.
see what's new. It's kind of funny how the generations are so different.
Yeah, I mean, I still do every once in a while, but on a race weekend, it's so nice because I am lucky. My trailer is in my side yard, so I can just run it out to my
Yeah.
refrigerator, and then we just throw the gear bags in and get on the road to get to the race by, Friday night or whatever. So
Yeah. And
that's my secret.
that's your secret to being organized and
Yeah.
everything. And, you know, we have to laugh. COVID was a terrible thing. And
Yeah.
whether some people think it was not even true, but I had COVID and I can tell you it was true.
Yeah, so did I.
I was really sick for almost 2 months before there was any vaccines or anything at all. But anyway, there have been good things that came out of that,
Yeah.
more than just the grocery delivery. I mean, there really has been some good things there. We realized maybe we don't need as many things or to go as many places or all that we thought we did.
Yeah.
So, the grocery thing is just one of those benefits for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
If one good thing came out of it, it was the grocery delivery because it sure
Yeah.
makes going to the race weekends really easily.
I know my daughters would 100% agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah.
So, do you have any advice that you got from somebody, or somebody said, gave you a quote or anything along those lines that you kind of hold close that kind of keeps you motivated or going?
I don't
Not
know.
really,
My
huh?
husband always says scare yourself once daily, but I wish I could ride my dirt bike every day.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
But that's what that always sticks in my head. I don't know. I hope I can keep writing and keep doing the things that I love as long as I can,
Yeah.
and keep finding joy in life. It's just like I've been really blessed in that. I mean, I see that my dad's still able to keep writing and
Uh-huh.
doing the things he loves. So I just
I
hopefully I
think that's a goal it should be a goal for all of us, that we take good enough care of ourselves that we can do things at an older age when our kids are grown. My kids are grown. I have grandkids that are having kids. So,
yeah,
but to be able to just do the things that you love. My husband loves to ride a motorcycle. He has a Yamaha. Um, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a fast bike. And he's ridden motorcycles forever, and he will never want to give that up until he just is not a good enough driver to not.
yeah,
So to be able to travel and do things that we want to do at 69 and 70 years old, and hopefully for many more years.
yeah,
That's a goal for all of us, because sometimes it takes a while to find our passions. And once we find them, we don't want to let go. We want to keep going.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you had a favorite memory since you've been involved in the dirt bikes?
I think my favorite memory was the day driving into the day that we sanctioned our first race. And I have helped my husband and my dad with 30 years of racing. And that's a different feeling because that's their race.
Yeah.
But this was my race that
Uh
I
huh.
was putting on, and it was part terrified and part excitement. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm in charge of this. I'm in charge of this.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I'm in charge. I mean, it was just like this whole really excitement mixed with I don't know, I can't even describe it. It was just very surreal.
Well, and you have to know in your head something's going to go wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, even when you help, like I think about when you get married and you plan a wedding and you have all the details. I always, told my daughters, something's not going to go like you want. We're just going to roll with it. And that's, it's so true. It happens. Same with an event. Something's not going to go like you thought or like you planned, and you have to just deal with it and move on. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting. And this year I got to go to the AMA Hall of Fame. That was really exciting. That was my
Wow.
first time getting to be, and I got to go. That was my first year. This was my first year being an AMA commissioner. And that was really a memorable experience.
Oh,
So,
yeah. That'd be like me going to the NASCAR awards banquet. That's on my bucket list. I want to go there sometime,
yeah,
and see that. So I get why that's a big deal for you, for sure.
it was neat. And I got to see Debbie Matthews get her award and meet
Oh,
her. So that was really exciting.
very exciting. Yeah. So how do you use social media, or do you use it for like your club, your personal racing, any of that?
Yeah, we have a Facebook, and we have Women's Dirt Bike Racing has a Facebook page, and we have an Instagram, and we post photos of all of our ladies racing, and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, we post pictures after all of our races, and we post our flyers for our events and things like that on there.
Okay. And is it called the Dirt Bike Racing
Wo-
Association?
yeah, Women's Dirt Bike Racing Association.
Women's Dirt Bike. I want to make sure I have it right.
Yeah.
Women's Dirt Bike Racing. Okay. All right. Is there anything we haven't talked about, Kelly, that I just blatantly overlooked about what you do, or any of this at all?
I can't really think of anything. No.
Okay. I always do that because sometimes we miss the most obvious, and
Yeah.
so I don't want to miss anything that we need to share with people. So, when is your next event coming up?
So we put on a GP race. It's going to be September 28th at Prairie City OHV Park, and it will be it's part an off-road course, so a 4-mile off-road course, and then also it will be on the motocross, the
Okay.
large pro motocross track that they have the national on as well.
Okay. So you got a little time yet to figure that out. And then
Yeah.
between now and then, what will you be doing as far as riding and all that?
Yeah, and then our ladies also race the District 36 cross country and GP races, and then a lot of our ladies also race the Western Hare Scramble
Okay.
races as well. Yeah,
All right. So they'll be busy all part of the summer till it gets too hot, probably.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a fun time and a
yeah.
lot to look forward to, for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll be busy.
Yeah, you'll be busy. Well, Kelly, I hope you have a great summer and a very successful event in
Thank
September. I'm
you.
sure you will, because you guys are old hat at it now. You've done a few. So,
Yeah, we have.
yeah. And if anybody wants to know more about how you got started and how you got approved by the AMA and all that, they could reach out to you on Facebook or any of that. And I know you'd be glad to help them get going, wouldn't you?
Yeah, or they can email me at womensdirtbikeracing@yahoo.com if they want.
Okay.
Um,
Women's Dirt Bike Racing at yahoo.com. That's great.
mhm.
Perfect. Well, I don't have any other questions. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to share?
No, I would just encourage anybody to reach out to the AMA if they want to start a club.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can make a difference in your riding district and get other ladies involved.
Yeah.
It's really made
Yeah.
a difference in ours.
I agree. That's a great piece of advice. So let's get more women on those dirt bikes and have some fun, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's it for this episode of the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. We hope you've been inspired by the stories I shared today and feel more connected to the amazing community of women in motorsports. Remember, whether you're behind the wheel, in the pits, or cheering from the stands, your story matters. And together, we're driving change and celebrating every milestone. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who loves motorsports as much as you do. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates, behind the scenes content, and more incredible stories. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep racing through life. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, where every woman's story is worth celebrating.